Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Busch Gardens in Parkitect. Now, what I failed to mention in the last episode is that this is not a recreation of both of the Busch Gardens parks. You've got Williamsburg and Tampa Bay. This is my interpretation of both those parks, and I will be doing my own version with my own rides, but obviously inspired by the style of the Busch Gardens parks. So that's just some information there, and also I want to say thanks to all the new subscribers that I gained from the last video. I never really had that many subscribers subscribe from one video before, so that was really cool. And for those watching that haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon if you want to be notified when I next upload a video. Like I said last time, I try and get a video up once a week, but if not, it's usually once every 2 weeks. If I'm pushed for time, once every 3 weeks, but I really do try and get one out once a week. So I'm just continuing here from where I left off in the last episode, and I'm just kind of finishing up this little car entrance area, and I'm just putting in some trees and some foliage and just making it look nice and pretty there. And I've made a little Busch Gardens logo sign at the front where the road forks, just for those cars to see as they're coming up. So now obviously I need cars in this. I'm not going to complete all the cars right away, and what I like to do is place down all the cars and then go back through with a colour picker and change all the colours of the cars so not all of them are matching or the same. But for now I just like to place the cars down just to see where I want to go. So just for now I've put some there in the little car entrance, but I will obviously fill up the roads, and later on in this episode I will be building a car park, but I don't add the cars just yet. That is something I will do later on because it's quite a monotonous thing to do, placing down lots and lots of cars. Actually, I like to save cars as blueprints sometimes and just kind of copy them down and then go through with the colour picker and change them so they don't look quite all the same cluster of cars. But that's something I'll do later on. I'm just going to go in now and basically just kind of finish up the infrastructure and add the nice yellow lines around the outside, and obviously a park border fence here which will divide the car park up from the road. And at this point of the build, I really wasn't sure on the style that I was going to have at the entrance, and I really love the Tampa Bay entrance with the Moroccan style kind of entrance, and I had that in my head. So when I was building, I had those kind of styles going on. I used onion domes. I've got little tiny ones here on the poles, but it's not actually how it ends up being, and this fence still looks okay. It's not too kind of Moroccan or whatever style I was going for looking, so I can still use it and it looks cool. I've left a little green patch there. Maybe I can add some foliage in front of the fence, but I've just made that as a blueprint and copied it down to save some time. And now I'm just going to make like a little canopy entrance, and this is where I really get confused, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so let's do this Moroccan theme, and I'm adding these kind of, canopies here, which still look okay without the rockin' theme, so I keep those. But I add the onion domes on top, which I do later on delete, but for now they are there. But obviously that's not the style I'm going to be going for. But this is just a nice kind of canopy entrance, just where the cars can drive into the car park once they've come through the main ticket kind of area. So I'm just fiddling around with different poles here just to try and get the best look. Here are those onion domes. They do look quite cool, I must say, and if I was going for that style, maybe I would have kept them. But maybe in the park I can do a Moroccan area and use that style again. I just didn't want it really for the entrance. I want more of a generic entrance, I think, for this park, and then have it split off into different areas. So obviously I've been thinking of what I should do. I had some comments, and someone said I should do a Scandinavian style Busch Gardens, have different Scandinavian areas, which is quite a cool idea. But I do want to include other kind of countries, and I really want to do a German area because I have good ideas for it. So I will be doing like a German area, but maybe I'll mix up the two real Busch Gardens parks and have different areas from around the world, so it's not just one like Europe or Africa, for example. I've seen a Busch Gardens Asia, and that was cool. That was on New Element Designs. That was a very a cool park on Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, but I want to kind of stay away from the Asian theme as well. Maybe I could have an Asian area. But my favourite areas from Busch Gardens, I must say, is the Egyptian area in Tampa Bay, and I really want to have an Egyptian area. But I don't want to copy it. I don't want to have a Montu and a Cobra's Curse or that kind of thing. So maybe I can think up my own ideas. But I do want to include rides that you would find at Busch Gardens. Like, both parks have a dive coaster, so I think this park would have a dive coaster. Both parks have a multi-launch coaster, so maybe I could include that. Busch Gardens Tampa used to have an arrow looper, the Python, and Busch Gardens Europe has obviously Loch Ness Monster, but it also had Drachenfire, so maybe I could include something like that as well. I would love to do like a Drachenfire homage, because that coaster was so iconic because of its time. Arrow were trying to break boundaries with their coasters, and they were trying to basically do like a B&M style coaster with an Arrow technology, and it didn't quite work out. It was very rough, and it had got removed, unfortunately, but the coaster is great, and maybe I could do like an homage to that in the park somewhere. But again, I don't want to copy it exactly. So back to what I'm doing here. I'm just basically building car park lines, which I always like to do in one section, save as a blueprint and place it down, and then edit it as I go along, just to save some time. I wanted to make these little dividers as well, so it's not all just car park lines, and so I thought that'd be quite cool to so you see where your car is, or plant some bushes around there as well. But I wanted to include a more realistic car park this time, so I'm going to go back through later on and add some more kind of I'm going to do like disabled parking areas. I do it briefly in this episode, but not properly. I do go back and I will change it and have more of like a space either side with some stripy lines, etc. But I just wanted to place down the whole car park in general, just to get a feel for the area and what I'm doing. So for the lines, I'm actually using a threshold piece from Shy Guys Set 2, which kind of sits nicely there on top of the path cover that I've used to make the car park. I'm just figuring out here how to do the diagonals, because the parking bays are actually quite thin, but it looks not too bad. Obviously there's no diagonal cars in the game, so I can't place cars down, but I will add cars to this car park. So I'm just kind of marking out where I put the disabled area, so I've done the pale blue parking spots there. I will make that more realistic later on. And I love these little trees here that they have in the roadworks set. These are like trees that aren't grown yet that are being supported by wooden beams, so I've placed those down because I think it looks quite cool. Maybe those trees are new. And I'm just putting normal trees here in that area just to fill in the gap between the park boundary and the car park. But that's all I've got time for in this episode. Next episode I will move on a bit more and go into the entrance building, etc. But thanks for watching, and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!